This page is the front cover of a Super Mario 64 Fantastic Guidebook. It features the title, Super Mario 64, in large red letters at the top. Below the title is an image of Princess Peach, depicted in a stained glass style design, set inside an oval frame. Beneath the image is the text, Fantastic Book, in a flowing white script. In the bottom left corner, there is Japanese text that also reads, Super Mario 64 Fantastic Guidebook Strategy Book. This guide serves as an index for a Super Mario 64 walkthrough. It features 3 main sections. 10 Knowledge for When in Trouble, on page 3. Offers advice for struggling players. Course-specific walkthroughs, page 6. Provide strategies for each level, covering 9 courses, extra courses, and about 60 power stars. The courses are listed with corresponding page numbers. Finally, Mario Super Ultra Techniques and Quiz, page 42, details Mario's moves and techniques, including the Infinite 1UP trick. The guide is for the Nintendo 64, features images of Mario and Bowser, covers up to course 9 plus extra and hidden courses, and is currently on sale for 9,800 yen. This Super Mario 64 guide section offers troubleshooting tips for players. It stresses the importance of precise control stick movements and button presses for activating special actions, differentiating them from older platformers. 4 key techniques are explained. First, achieving the running motion requires fully tilting and holding the control stick. Second, successful wall kicks depend on facing the wall, jumping, and pushing the control stick towards and then away from the wall while pressing A. Third, contrary to belief, long jumps don't always require a long run-up. Finally, continuous wall kicks involve precise timing of the A button press as Mario touches or leaves the wall, enabling an advanced technique for wall traversal. The next page of the guide expands on techniques for reaching targeted locations in Super Mario 64. It highlights aiming for places with stars on walls and areas away from walls, emphasizing the use of specific actions to get there. A section focuses on climbing high places, teaching players that Mario can grab ledges on most surfaces. It also details jump power-up actions, listing wall kicks, 2 and 3 step jumps, and backflips as examples. The guide explains that 3 step jumps, especially the final jump, can be used to reach even higher areas, like the second floor of the castle. For traveling to distant spots, long jumps and other special actions are recommended over standard jumps from a walking motion. Inputting commands quickly is stressed, particularly for jumps, with the stick in one direction and the A button being crucial. It's mentioned that initiating jumps from a stationary position is perfectly fine. Finally, the page introduces cannons as a means to reach small islands and mid-air areas, noting their common presence in courses. Finding red coins is suggested to locate these cannons, and it points out a connection between cannons and akabomu, likely bow-bombs, hinting that bow-bombs may be needed to operate cannons. The guide encourages exploration around cannons for new discoveries, and states that cannons and akabomu are often found together as a set. The next page of the guide is about what to do when Mario's health is low in Super Mario 64. If you're stuck and don't know what to do, the guide suggests checking the knowledge sections on the page for tips. If you're completely lost, it recommends exiting the course entirely and starting again. Another tip is to carefully observe the course after hitting switches, as this might reveal changes or new pathways. The page emphasizes using items, especially hearts, for health recovery, stating that hearts are the primary way to regain health. It highlights Kuru Kuru hearts, which are spinning hearts, as giving a large health recovery boost. The guide explains different colored hearts and their effects. Blue hearts restore 5 health, red hearts restore 2 health and give a star for every 8 coins collected, and yellow hearts restore 1 health and give a 1 UP for every 50 coins. The guide also gives tips on blocks. Red blocks may have hints located above them. Green blocks found in water areas can be dangerous, and blue blocks can be broken when hit from below. This page is about course, which means course strategy, in Super Mario 64, and provides steps and tips for getting power stars and progressing in the game. It starts by explaining the steps to get a power star, beginning with entering a course and jumping into the picture. To get a power star, you need to search for stars within paintings and on walls. Once you find a power star, you should try to get it after fulfilling certain conditions. The page also highlights the moment of getting a power star. To defeat Bowser, you need power stars, so collecting them is essential. If you get stuck, it suggests checking for hints in rooms with paintings. The page also mentions that you need a specific number of stars to open certain doors, especially the doors to Bowser's levels. For example, the page shows a door requiring 8 stars to open it. The next page continues to explore courses in Super Mario 64, dividing them into 3 sections: above ground, underground, and backyard. The above ground section, covering courses 1 through 4, and Peach's Room Extra Course 1, mentions that the areas around the castle feature intriguing spots like moats, and the maze-like courses all originate from the castle itself. The underground section, courses 6 through 9, and Extra Course 2, explains that to access these levels, players must defeat Bowser in the basement to obtain a key. This key is needed to open the central door on the 2nd floor of the castle. The backyard section, focusing on Course 5, provides a tip for replaying the levels. It states that if you exit the course and then select the yellow-lit star 1, the course will reset to its initial state, as if star 1 has not yet been collected. Additionally, the page discusses the replayability of courses, using Course 4's slider as an example. It mentions that after completing the slider in Course 4, players can return and challenge the penguin again. It also points out that if you skip the star indicated in the course title and proceed, the subsequent star 3 will still be obtainable. This page focuses on Course 1, Bob-omb Battlefield, showcasing different aspects of the level. One section highlights the rolling iron ball obstacle, warning players about its danger and mentioning it appears many times. Another part introduces the Bob-omb King on the mountain, explaining he is the boss encountered at the mountain summit, noting a conversation will commence upon meeting him. The page also details a strategy to defeat the Bob-omb King, which involves grabbing him from behind and throwing him 3 times by pressing the B button. It also advises using 3 D-stick movements to circle behind him. Additionally, it warns players that falling off the ring surrounding the Bomb King arena is an out and results in failure. Finally, the page shows that the rolling iron ball can be jumped over, offering a way to avoid damage. This guide continues the Bob-omb Battlefield walkthrough, focusing on the mountaintop and Sky Island. Section 1 details how to beat Koopa Troopa to the summit by using the cannon after defeating King Bob-omb. It stresses the importance of a 5-second lead. Section 2 focuses on the race against Koopa Troopa at the peak, emphasizing the same lead time to secure a Power Star. Section 3 explains how to reach Sky Island using cannons, highlighting a Power Star within a yellow block. It provides cannon aiming tips, recommending targeting the tall tree and adjusting aim for visibility. The best cannon is located near the peak for optimal visibility. This guide details how to find 8 red coins in a level. 6 key locations are near a mountain, on a rotating lift in Whomp's Fortress, under the castle bridge, on a seesaw bridge, on a floating island, and near pillars. The guide also offers monster star techniques for defeating enemies. Goombas can be defeated by various attacks, Bob-ombs explode and can be used for short bursts of flight, and Koopa Troopas can be flipped and their shells thrown. In Whomp's Fortress, a Power Star can be found near the doghouse. Furthermore, the guide mentions using the wing cap for flight, recommending exploration to obtain a Power Star. This page is about Course 2, Bob-omb Battlefield, subtitled King of the Hill. It provides a walkthrough for navigating the level and defeating the boss, King Bob-omb. The page is divided into sections guiding the player through different challenges in Bob-omb Battlefield. One section highlights a small shortcut achieved by wall jumping near a brick wall to climb it. It mentions this is easier than it looks and useful for players struggling with certain areas. Another section is titled Angry Bob-omb King, which is about confronting the boss areas. It advises getting close to observe him and reveals he is bigger than expected. The strategy is to grab him from behind, spin him, and throw him 3 times to defeat him. It notes that the X on his back is his weak point, making hip drops effective. Another section focuses on getting across Mata, which describes traversing a narrow path or bridge called Mata. The advice is to run and jump across. Finally, there is a section titled Pay Attention to the Viewpoint, suggesting players should adjust the camera when climbing high places, especially when Mario becomes obscured from view. It recommends jumping and using hip drops anywhere to adjust the viewpoint. The page uses screenshots from the game to illustrate these tips and strategies, showing Mario performing actions like wall jumping, facing King Bob-omb, crossing the Mata Bridge, and adjusting the camera. The star icons at the top suggest collectible stars are involved. This page continues with more gameplay tips. Section 2 is about getting to the top of the tower, advising players to use a cannon to reach the tower's peak and to watch out for bullet bills. Section 3 is titled Cannon Shot Jump, guiding players on how to use cannons effectively for long jumps, suggesting aiming at a cone-like target and making slight adjustments for accuracy. Section 4 is about Floating Island's 8 red coins, focusing on collecting 8 red coins on a floating island, and mentions that thwomps and red coins are present in this area. It also mentions that the power star appears after collecting the red coins near the starting point. This guide provides gameplay advice across several sections. Section 5 details using a cannon to reach a birdcage, emphasizing aiming upward and collecting a star. Section 6 focuses on cannon use for breaking walls, warning of potential enemies. Section 7 advises a cautious approach to piranha plants, suggesting quick punches to defeat them. Section 8 covers thwomps, recommending jumping on their backs to defeat them for coin rewards. The final section, Recover with Coins, explains that coins replenish the power meter, essential for survival. This page is about Course 3, Pirate Entrance, in Super Mario 64, and highlights water-based challenges. It starts with a warning about water traps, noting that Mario's breath meter depletes quickly in this course, advising players to stay calm and find air pockets. Another caution is about a giant eel called Utubo, which is very large and causes significant damage upon contact. The guide then breaks down the course into sections. The first section directs players towards a submerged ship as the main objective. The second section explains how to deal with the eel, suggesting players lure it out by making sounds to make it reveal itself. The third section emphasizes the importance of managing Mario's breath underwater, particularly near the ship's entrance where the eel is located. Finally, the last section advises acting before the water recedes, mentioning a power star on top of a yellow block and the need to open treasure chests in a specific order to replenish oxygen. This page continues with Course 3, Pirate Entrance, highlighting more underwater challenges. The next part focuses on Big Brother Utubo, a more formidable eel enemy. It's recommended to approach from the side, particularly the left, due to its strong attacks, and avoid getting too close to prevent scaring it off, as it might remember being chased away from the sunken ship earlier. To get the power star, approach it a little early and make contact. There is also a chance to get something on the return trip. The last section covers Underwater Cave Treasure, cautioning players about the captain's traps. Manage your breath meter by collecting nearby coins. Yellow coin rings serve as landmarks. Hitting a question mark block triggers falling stone pillars. More treasure chests await beyond. If you fail the treasure chest puzzle, you must restart, but the correct order will become apparent. A treasure chest visible from the water's bottom leads to the underwater cave, which is described as a short passage. This page continues the guide with more level tips, starting with number 4, Floating Boat Red Coins, advising players to collect 8 red coins on the floating boat to get a power star. It mentions the boat appearing when the water level rises, and red coins being scattered on top. Section 5 is titled Rock Pillars 1 Jump. It suggests using a cannon to reach the pillars, and aiming for the higher points on the pillars. The goal is to jump across the pillars to get a power star, and it warns that falling means starting over. It highlights aiming for the top of the pillars, and suggests this is the key point. Lastly, Section 6 is Fountain Water Dive, which is about diving into the fountain. It explains that by diving into the fountain's water, you can obtain a power star. The page also mentions strong water currents, and suggests that if you get caught in the current, it might be impossible to obtain the power star normally, and you might need to use a trick. The page also mentions there are red coins to be found, even underwater. It advises players to look for red coins underwater too, and that some are even inside shells. This page introduces Course 4, titled Cold, Cold Mountain, focusing on the snow-covered mountain levels and sliding gameplay. The page highlights the Super Snow Slider level, suggesting that to access it and get a power star, you need to enter a small hut. It seems you'll encounter a snowman-like character inside, possibly to initiate the course. The guide provides general tips for snow sliding, cautioning about losing speed and falling. It advises using jumps and side jumps to navigate and avoid obstacles effectively. A section called Shortcut is Here offers advice on taking shortcuts during the slide. It discusses cornering techniques, particularly when dealing with banked turns, emphasizing the importance of careful control. It also details jump techniques for navigating difficult corners and ensuring a smooth run. The page warns that the area right before the goal requires extra attention due to potential dangers. The screenshots show Mario in a snowy mountain environment, sliding down slopes, navigating corners, and interacting with characters like Goombas wearing winter hats. This guide provides tips for navigating a snow-themed level in Mario 64. It details strategies for 4 objectives. First, in the Penguin Race, players are advised to collect 2 power stars beforehand and use spin jumps to win against the speedy penguin. Second, the Lost Baby Penguin mission involves returning the baby penguin to its mother at the mountain's summit for a power star reward. Third, the guide outlines the location of 8 red coins, gathered while sliding, and their collection order. Finally, it warns of dangerous spots with holes that can lead to falls, emphasizing the use of ground kicks for deceleration and careful landing to reach the goal. This page continues the snow level guide and highlights 2 main sections. Firstly, Section 5, titled Rolling Snowball, focuses on guiding a snowball to its head. The key is to start with a dash and talk to the snowball early on, sliding on the bare ground to maintain speed. At a hairpin turn, a jump is recommended. The goal is to stop precisely by bumping into the snowball, which supposedly leads to something new and exciting. Secondly, Section 6 is about a hidden super wall kick location at the foot of a mountain, where you need to jump towards the water. This spot is described as a place to gain courage at a corner where the curve disappears. The guide mentions that the first 2 jumps should be small, and surprisingly, a wall jump isn't always needed, as you can also get up using a backspin jump. The page also introduces 2 types of enemies. Snowmen, which suddenly appear from the ground and throw snowballs. These can be defeated by jumping on them. And fluffy enemies, which allow you to float in the air for a short time if you jump on them. While you can punch these, jumping is suggested for a better feeling. Finally, it notes that there aren't many monsters in this course. Among the snowman-like enemies, only those appearing from the ground can be defeated, while those on bridges are invincible. This page is about Course 5, Teresa's Horror House, which is likely Boo's house or Big Boo's haunt. The page starts by highlighting that burritos are everywhere in this level, and questions if this is how you get 12 power stars. It mentions entering the mansion and facing burritos, suggesting players should try chasing after them. The page then focuses on defeating the boss Boo, describing it as a large Boo, and showing a picture of Mario facing a giant Boo. The text suggests that this is an important point. Another section points out that there are a total of 5 Boos in the mansion. Tips are given for navigating the mansion. One tip explains that in the leftmost room of the mansion, initially there aren't any Boos, but if you wait and look at the painting of the Boo will appear from inside the painting. Another tip explains how to get to the back of the mansion. From the front entrance, you should go left, and then go around to find a back entrance. Finally, a tip is given for the rightmost room of the mansion. It says that in the rightmost room there is a Boo, and in the front right room there is also a Boo. It suggests to defeat the Boo in the front right room first, and then another Boo will appear from the painting in the rightmost room. The Defeat All the Boos level takes place underground in a Boo-filled area with houses. The objective for Star 1 is to eliminate all Boos, with the environments featuring Boo-themed paintings. One area is the Boo's merry-go-round, where 5 Boos appear from paintings, accompanied by fire hazards. Players must use the elevator to face the boss Boo. Turning your back to Boos will freeze them, enabling a jump kick, A+B, followed by a punch to defeat them. Jumping on Boos will only cause a bounce. Alternatively, players can escape to the back of the level, utilizing the unstable footing. This guide provides tips for a stage with a Boo theme. Section 3 focuses on the mystery of the bookcase ghost, directing players to a specific bookshelf on the 2nd floor to find a Boo. Section 4 details the location of 8 red coins, emphasizing the need to complete a Star 1 objective to access the 2nd floor, and mentions a power star on a 2nd floor platform. Section 5 describes a boss battle against a large Boo, Boss Teresa, located on a balcony, suggesting rooftop access. Section 6 points to a Big Eye enemy hidden in a secret room. Section 7 advises using a specific jump kick, A+B buttons, to defeat Manmaru Mushi, Roundbug, enemies. Section 8 provides general Boo combat advice, recommending attacks from behind with a jump kick. This page is about a hidden course called the Floating Hane Switch. It explains how to find this hidden course and offers tips for collecting red coins and yellow coins within it. The page highlights that the Floating Hane Switch course is a hidden course. To access it, you need to have collected 10 power stars. Once you have, a light will shine down in the castle. If you look up into this light, you will be transported to the hidden course. The page details red coin collection tips for this course. It advises players to find the red switch and jump on top of it to make red blocks appear in the course. It also mentions that the wing cap is unlocked by doing this, allowing for flight. There's also information on yellow coin collection tips for this course. It explains that yellow coins follow a guideline, and if you approach them directly from the front, you shouldn't deviate from this guideline. It recommends collecting the coins starting from the upper right and following the coin line in a counterclockwise direction. Further tips include using a 3-step jump to reach higher coins and mentioning that the height decreases over time, so you need to collect them quickly. It also suggests landing on your feet after getting the last 2 coins to reset your posture and prepare for a 2-step jump towards the pot. The Dark World of Bowser Extra Course in Super Mario 64 is an action-oriented challenge. Players enter via a painting on the 2nd floor and navigate a hazardous environment. Key strategies include using Metal Mario to bypass fire obstacles. The course also features red coins to collect. Navigation involves different perspectives, counting and avoiding circling enemies around pillars from a frontal view, and timing jumps carefully from a side view, especially on lifts. The course emphasizes precise movement, particularly when traversing narrow paths and jumping onto extending floors. These sections demand accurate footwork to avoid falling. The next page details Bowser's attacks and strategies for defeating him in Super Mario 64. It highlights Bowser's Fire Breath attack, explaining he takes a deep breath and unleashes fire directly in front of him. The page warns that touching the flames turns Mario into a burnt state, causing him to run around uncontrollably. Another attack featured is the hip press, where Bowser jumps high and causes ground tremors when he lands, damaging Mario if he's nearby. The page advises to run away when Bowser jumps, as this is his hip press attack. The guide also covers Bowser throwing bombs. It explains that Bowser throws bombs and sets them off in sequence. The advice is to confirm the position of the bomb and pick it up. Finally, the page provides tips on good ways to defeat him. It mentions that even with giant swing throws, it can be difficult to aim the bomb correctly. The guide advises to get close to Bowser when he is knocked down. Pick up the bomb and throw it at his back. It suggests that after a few throws, Bowser will be defeated and reward the player with a key. The page caption below mentions that if you get close enough, you can throw Bowser into the hole. The next page is about Course 6, Dioramas, also known as the Dark Cave. This level is described as an underground lake maze with labyrinthine paths and caves. The guide advises players to first get an overview of the entire course from a vantage point. It's noted that this underground lake course is accessed through one of several doors within the castle, requiring players to descend stairs underground. Before proceeding, players will encounter a guide and must long jump or defeat Bowser's minion Koopa to obtain a key. The level features shallow underground lakes and a smoky maze that damages Mario significantly unless he is in Metal Mario form. The page introduces Dory, a lovable giant dinosaur with round, endearing eyes who swims slowly and is described as cute. Players are encouraged to familiarize themselves with the underground lake map to understand the layout. The guide then explains how to navigate the level using Dory. The tip is to proceed in the direction Mario is facing and to guide Dory. Jumping near a small island will reveal a power star. This power star is surrounded by yellow coins. The controls for riding Dory are the same whether Mario is on its back or head. Players should aim for the central small island and guide Dory there. Performing a hip drop on Dory's back will cause it to lower its head, allowing Mario to ride on its head. This guide continues the Dioramas walkthrough, focusing on red coin collection and level progression. Navigate right to reach the Operation Lift area. Use these lifts, which move in the direction Mario jumps, to gather coins. Some are hidden in blocks. Hitting a wall stops the lift strategically. Automatic lifts transport Mario to higher areas. Break the visible blocks. The guide then details Metal Mario's role. Become Metal Mario to dash and press a green switch, solidifying green blocks and creating a path due to the strong water currents. Finally, obtain the Power Star. After activating the switch, a power star appears in a circular, rotating area. Dive to the deepest part of the area to collect it. The next page gives tips for navigating the smoked maze in Dire Docks. It advises players to become Metal Mario to get through the maze and find the emergency exit. The guide suggests checking the map to locate safe spots marked with circles, and points out that the goal is often close to the maze entrance. It also mentions that changing the camera angle is important, and recommends looking at the bottom right of the map for hints if you're lost. This page also introduces 3 enemies: Pua Pua, which resembles a pufferfish; Koropu, a small creature that throws white objects; and Basa Basa, which flies around. It explains how to defeat each enemy: punch or kick Pua Pua, throw objects like dirt at Koropu, and punch or kick Basa Basa while it's flying around. Lastly, there's a caution about large rolling rocks in the area, advising players to be careful. This page introduces Fire Bubble Land Course 7, emphasizing the danger of falling into the lava, which will hurt you badly. It advises using backflips to navigate when you're about to fall in the lava. The page then introduces the boss enemy, Boss Donketsu, and reveals the secret to defeating him. Use a backflip jump to defeat Donketsu in one hit. It highlights that Boss Donketsu is powerful, and defeating him requires a backflip stomp. The next page continues the guide on how to defeat the Donketsu enemies, stating you should aim to defeat 3 Donketsu to make the boss Donketsu appear. It mentions that a regular jump stomp may not defeat them, and recommends using a backflip stomp to defeat them in one hit. If you get hit by a Donketsu, you might fall into the lava, so be careful. The page then highlights a section about 8 red coins that are placed in a fixed position, and mentions that the Power Star pedestal is nearby. It shows an image of the 15 puzzle level, and explains that the platform with the red coins moves in the direction of the adjacent empty space. It advises to move safely and jump to the safe area when the platform starts shaking. The next page continues the guide, this time focusing on the Coco log crossing level. It mentions that logs are used to cross, and there are points with fire jets that blow out. You need to use the lifts carefully as they move. The logs rotate due to Mario's weight as he crosses towards the opposite bank. Moving on, there is a section about a volcano power star. This area is described as a volcano with lava and fire mountains. Lifts are involved, and it seems to be a narrow path to the star start area. The text suggests there might be a hidden secret in this volcanic sea area. The next section is about a volcano lift tour of mind. It explains that the lifts move slowly along a path guided by black dots. Be careful to avoid collisions and try to predict the lift's trajectory. Finally, at the bottom there's information about the Donketsu enemies. It emphasizes that you cannot defeat them with punches or kicks directly. Instead, you need to knock them into the lava sea. They are described as surprisingly strong, capable of sending Mario flying with a single hit. Despite their strength, their design is considered cute and rounded. This page introduces Course 8, called Hot Desert. The first level is Flowing Sand Pyramid, highlighting the quicksand which will swallow you whole in one go, and warns about the strong sunlight. That mentions that tornado devils can appear from the quicksand depending on the situation. The pyramid is described as having entrances and exits, and you should aim to go towards the back. Next is Mischievous Bald Eagle Django's Foot Power Star. This level features Django, a bald eagle, and you get a power star by stepping on his foot. It also points out that Django will try to snatch Mario's hat. Finally, there's a section about hat. It warns that if Mario doesn't have his hat, his health decreases significantly. If Django steals your hat, you need to attack Django to get it back, either by punching or kicking. If you defeat Django while he has your hat, the hat will drop. If the hat falls, make sure to pick it up again. The next page continues the Hot Desert Course Guide, focusing on the pyramid. Firstly, it talks about reaching the top of the pyramid. It explains that you can use the wing cap to fly to the peak, where you can find power stars in the sky and hidden in small holes. It also mentions that power stars can make blocks appear. Next, it highlights getting close to a power star on the pyramid, warning players to be careful when landing due to the narrow ledges, and to approach enemies with caution. Then, it discusses red bow bombs, noting they are commonly found in diagonal formations across the desert, and are easy to defeat. The guide then moves inside the giant pyramid. It describes enemies that feel like thwomps and various obstacles you'll need to navigate. It points out that while power stars are located in the lower levels of the pyramid, your main objective is to aim upwards. The entrance to the pyramid is described as a dark hole that opens up. It suggests using Wing Mario to enter and advises caution due to slippery slopes inside. Finally, it reveals that you will find a power star near the top of the pyramid. The guide provides tips for a desert level. 4 pillars directs players to find something atop 4 pillars. Spinning 8 coins suggests spinning near a pillar to collect 8 red coins, recommending the cannon as a backup. Great Pyramid Mystery encourages exploration of the pyramid, highlighting the search for the 6th power star. Enemy introductions include Hey Ho, defeated with punches, kicks; Scoon, defeated by breaking it apart; and Sunbow, slow, cactus-like, harmful to touch them. The Monster Defeat Strategy section details a boss fight. Players must use the pillars to avoid attacks, target the eye when it opens, and defeat 2 monsters to obtain a power star. This page is about Course 9, Waterland. It highlights the stage's hatch, which features Bowser's face, and appears to be where submarines enter and exit. The page details the first objective. Go through the Koopa submarine. It mentions that oxygen tanks are essential underwater, and that the bridge ahead disappears after a certain time, requiring quick crossing to avoid falling. A switch activates blocks to cross the submarine's deck, but punches won't destroy the submarine itself. The page also points out enemies, one that hides in shells and carries Koopa shells, and another large fish enemy that is described as having a nice face. This page continues with Strategy Guide and features more tips for Super Mario 64. Section 2 is titled Whirlpool Treasure Chest. It is about finding treasure chests in the seabed. It explains that there are 4 treasure chests at the starting point, which are deep in the water and must be opened in the correct order to get keys to obtain a star. Opening them in the wrong order will cause damage. The guide suggests opening them in counterclockwise order, starting with the deepest one first. It also warns about sharks in the area that can cause damage if touched. The guide suggests to slowly approach the chests and float upwards to navigate. Section 3 is titled Escaping Koopa's Hideout Red Coins, which is about collecting red coins to escape from Koopa's hideout. It states that there are 8 red coins in Koopa's underwater fortress. Collecting all of them will make a star appear from a pipe in the dock. It also mentions that defeating Bowser will cause the underwater fortress to disappear. The guide shows how to use poles to navigate the area and collect coins by jumping at the right time. It notes that instead of a submarine, there are buoyant objects floating around. The main advice is to defeat Koopa first. This page continues the strategy guide with more Super Mario 64 tips, this time focusing on underwater challenges. Section 4, Go Through the Gushing Water, describes a water area with strong currents and water pressure. It highlights how there's a power star to be obtained in this location. The tip suggests that players might instinctively want to go through a ring-like structure, but this is incorrect. Section 5, Manta's Gift, is about a manta ray encounter. It explains how to find a power star in the ocean, with the manta ray playing a role in giving a gift. The tip advises players to try sticking to the manta ray's backside, suggesting using flutter kicks and breaststroke swimming techniques. Section 6, When the Hats Are Aligned, describes another power star opportunity. It shows an area with hats aligning and a power star inside a cage. The tip mentions that when a hatch opens, players will be sucked in, making it easy to get the power star. At the bottom, a section simply says, Thank you. It features Mario waving and holding a power star, and asks if the manta ray's star was helpful, then replies, It's a secret. The page also briefly mentions actions for when Koopa is defeated versus when he is not defeated, implying that certain level elements might change based on Bowser's status. This page is titled Bowser of the Fiery Depths, and it's Extra Course 2. The page continues providing tips for Super Mario 64, now focusing on a lava-themed level. One section, Still Athletic, points out that the level has moving floors and very narrow paths, emphasizing the athletic challenge. Another section, Don't Fall into the Lava, warns against falling into the lava, noting that while you lose coins you will respawn. The section titled 1UP, A Little More, indicates that there are plenty of 1UP mushrooms in this area. Finally, there are also hangings, highlights the presence of hanging sections in the level, and mentions using the A button to grab and hang. The page provides screenshot examples of navigating these fiery platforms and challenges. This page, titled Earth-Shaking Second Bowser, introduces the second encounter with Bowser in this extra course, highlighting his improved footwork and agility. Bowser is depicted saying, "It came out again," and complaining to Mario about him always getting in his way. The page details 4 of Bowser's attack patterns. Firstly, the Super Dash, where Bowser charges directly at Mario. The advice is to adjust your position to avoid being hit by this direct charge. Secondly, Fire Breath describes Bowser's wide-spreading fireballs, and the tip is to continuously jump to dodge them. Thirdly, the Hip Press attack involves Bowser jumping high and slamming down, creating a shockwave. Players are advised to jump to avoid this shockwave. Finally, Body Slam explains how Bowser will charge at Mario using his entire body. The tip here is to anticipate his charge and move to the side to dodge. The next page introduces Peach's Hidden Slider Hidden Star, focusing on a secret star within the Peach's slide level. It reveals that in Peach's room, located on the second floor of the castle's right wing, a hidden star can be found within Peach's picture. The page highlights the slider course in Peach's room, showing gameplay screenshots with timers. It discusses collecting coins on the slider course and enjoying the speed and thrill of sliding. Tips are given on how to play from Mario's viewpoint and change camera angles using the R button, suggesting this enhances the time attack challenge. The page concludes by encouraging players to enjoy the adventure of sliding, emphasizing the fun and exhilarating experience and the replayability of the slider. The next page is all about time attack capture tactics and focuses on getting faster times in a level, possibly Peach's hidden slider from the previous page. It details several techniques like orthodox time attack, which is described as a standard approach, speed control that advises on adjusting speed using the control stick, cornering, which explains how to approach corners effectively, and sliding time attack, focusing on fast sliding. The page highlights a super shortcut technique to drastically reduce time. Throughout the page, there are screenshots showing gameplay with timers and text providing tips in Japanese to improve your time attack skills. The goal mentioned is to aim for 20 seconds. This article details various super ultra techniques for Mario 64. It begins with Infinite 1 UPS Possible, explaining how to gain unlimited lives, crucial for easier gameplay, especially in Bowser stages where game overs reset progress. Locations like Peach's Hidden Slide and other courses offer opportunities to collect multiple 1 UPs, as illustrated with screenshots. Another technique, also focusing on Peach's Hidden Slide, involves water recovery, allowing instant and complete health restoration by entering and exiting water. Screenshots demonstrate this method. The article also discusses repeatedly collecting coins and 1 UPs, called OK any number of times. This can be done endlessly due to no time limit. Finally, if health decreases, enter water reinforces the water recovery technique, detailing how health stabilizes at half in water before fully restoring upon surfacing. This page showcases more Super Mario 64 techniques and a quiz section. First, it details a technique called Kick Escape, which is about getting out of sand pits by using kicks, because sand areas limit jump height. Another technique for Luigi is highlighted, titled Penguin Body Attack, which suggests body slamming penguins in Course 4, presumably Cool Mountain. There's also a section on Weird Face or This, again featuring Luigi, hinting at a technique related to making funny faces, likely exploring in-game camera and character model quirks. Finally, a Super Mario 64 quiz appears at the bottom right with 2 questions. The first asks to identify an enlarged enemy image, which is Boo. The second question asks to identify the course scenery shown, which is from Big Boo's haunt. It mentions that 64 correct answer respondents will receive a Teleka present, and the deadline for entries is July 12th. This page is from the Famimaga 64 special supplement for Super Mario 64, specifically for the July 12th issue. It promotes itself as a fantastic strategy guidebook for Super Mario 64, covering star collecting methods for courses up to Course 9, and promising complete coverage of game techniques. The page features a prominent framed image of Princess Peach in silhouette,